547, wind 19016, runway 22 right, clear for takeoff.
Runway 22 right, clear for takeoff, Delta 547.
Taxi via Juliet.
Air traffic controllers protect our nation's airways. These are the stories of real air traffic controllers to boldly deliver a safe, orderly, and expeditious flow of air traffic from their departure point to their final destination.
Wind 19016, runway 22 right, clear for takeoff.
Runway 22 right, clear for takeoff, Delta 547.
Hello everyone, my name is Jack Overfield. I was an air traffic controller for 35 years. That is 31 years in the FAA and a little over 4 years in the United States Air Force. On October 18, 2024, I was fortunate to visit Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland Air Force Base, to see this amazing SR-71, tail number 17979. I entered basic military training for the Air Force at Lackland Air Force Base in December 1969, and then I went on to the Air Traffic Controller course at Keesler Air Force Base in Mississippi and graduated from that course in June of 1970. I want to thank Andrew Valles, the public affairs specialist, who agreed to meet me at the gate and escort me onto the base so that I could take pictures of the SR-71. I also want to thank Andrew for his so far 14 years service in the United States Army Reserves, including 3 overseas deployments. Thank you, Andrew. SR-71s are amazing aircraft. They entered service for the United States in the mid-1960s, and they all retired in the 1990s. They served as amazing strategic reconnaissance platforms for the United States of America. I want to dedicate this video to all of the people that designed the aircraft, built the aircraft, all the crew members, that is the pilots and strategic reconnaissance officers that flew in the aircraft, and all of the support people, including the ground support personnel and all of the air support personnel. They are patriots, everyone. Thank you all. SR-71 were amazing aircraft, nicknamed Blackbird. They operated at speeds in the 2,200 mile per hour range and at altitudes between 60,000 and 85,000 feet. One of the most amazing things as an en route air traffic controller at Houston Center was watching an SR-71 at cruise speed and altitude move across your radar display. Following is a simulation of an SR-71 at cruise speed and cruise altitude versus a Boeing 737 at cruise speed and cruise altitude. It'll be a simulation of 1 minute flight. It is time-lapsed, so it will only take about 10 seconds to show how far each aircraft flies in 1 minute. Are you ready? Let's go. Now, as you saw, the SR-71 traveled 37 miles in 1 minute as compared to the Boeing 737 traveling 8 miles in 1 minute. What a difference. Here's a picture of me taken in 1984 in the dynamic simulation training room at Houston Air Traffic Control Center. I was 34 years old. And as you can see, I wasn't always a platinum blonde. Now I want to tell you about my experience in aerial refueling operations at Houston Center over Alexandria, Louisiana. Before I describe the SR-71 refueling event, it's important that you understand the SR-71 Dipsy Doodle maneuver. The best description of the Dipsy Doodle maneuver was described in a note to Linda Sheffield Miller from SR-71 pilot Dave Peters. Hey Linda, just wanted to give you some clarification on the Dipsy Doodle. It didn't have anything to do with a flameout. The origin was because we were not allowed to go supersonic below 30,000 feet over the continental United States. When you were very heavy coming off the tanker, it was very fuel and time consuming to accelerate through Mach 1 above 30,000. So the maneuver was used to climb up to about 33 to 34,000, then put the airplane into as much of a zero-G situation as possible to aid accelerating through the Mach. You had to level off at 30,000 no matter what, but you were usually well through the Mach by then and able to climb. This photo shows what radar displays looked like at en route air traffic control centers from the early 1970s through the 1990s until the SR-71s retired. These displays provided a crisp presentation of air traffic for controllers. The yellow arrow is pointing to the most recent radar target update of that aircraft's position. The group of faded slashes behind the radar target shows its previous tracked radar positions. They are called history tracks, like footprints. The red arrow is pointing to the data block tag that automatically attaches to and follows the radar target. The top line of the data block is the aircraft's call sign, TWA 45. The middle line, 350C, indicates the aircraft's altitude is flight level 350 as reported by the aircraft's Mode C transponder. The R in the third line shows the aircraft is being tracked by a radar controller. 806 is the flight's computer ID number, and 457 is the aircraft's ground speed in knots. I'm showing you this because the simulation that follows is just that, a mock-up. Following is a PowerPoint simulation of an SR-71 aerial refueling event from 1980. I was the radar controller working the AEX, aka Alexandria High Altitude Sector at Houston Air Traffic Control Center. Let me describe the airspace. The thin white lines are the sector boundaries. A yellow circle marks Alexandria, Louisiana. To its east, another yellow circle marks Macomb, Mississippi. The Alexandria High Altitude Sector controls airspace, flight level 240, that's basically 24,000 feet above sea level and above, at Houston Center. See the red arrow? Macomb High Altitude Sector controls airspace, flight level 240 and above. See the green arrow. To the northeast, Memphis Center controls airspace, flight level 240 and above. See the yellow arrow. Finally, Fort Worth Center High Altitude Sectors control airspace, flight level 240 and above. To the north and west, see the blue arrow. Remember, this is purely a simulation of the aerial refueling. There were other aircraft flying in my sector, but are not shown for this demonstration. Also, there are low altitude sectors beneath my sector that are controlling airplanes flight level 230 and below. They are not shown as well.
Houston Center, Tanker 2, flight level 290 through flight level 310, refueling Aspen 15. Tanker 2, Houston Center, roger.
The tanker and the SR-71 are MARSA, M-A-R-S-A, which means military assumes responsibility for separation of aircraft, which in this refueling operation means separation between the tanker and the SR-71. And that MARSA continues until the tanker pilot coordinates with me.
Houston Center, Tanker 2, refueling complete. Tanker 2 is a flight level 310 and Aspen 15 is a flight level 290. Tanker 2, roger, MARSA terminated. Tanker 2, clear to Barksdale Airport via right turn direct, maintain flight level 310. Tanker 2, roger, clear to Barksdale Airport via right turn direct, maintain flight level 310. Aspen 15, squawk 2517. Aspen 15, roger, squawk 2517. We're flight level 290, requesting Dipsy Doodle and clearance via flight plan route. Aspen 15, roger, radar contact, stand by.
The tanker and SR-71 are now separated by horizontal radar separation minima and increasing. I clear the SR-71 to conduct the Dipsy Doodle maneuver, flight level 290 and above, then climb and maintain flight level 600 and above.
Aspen 15, cleared via flight plan route. Dipsy Doodle, flight level 290 and above approved, then climb and maintain flight level 600 and above.
The pilot reads back the clearance. I instruct the pilot to report completion of the Dipsy Doodle.
Aspen 15, roger, cleared via flight plan route. Dipsy Doodle, flight level 290 and above, then climb and maintain flight level 600 and above.
The SR-71 pilot advises me that the Dipsy Doodle maneuver is completed and the aircraft is climbing to flight level 600 and above. Then continues climbing through flight level 350, flight level 420. I hand off the SR-71 to Macomb Sector, coordinate the climb to flight level 600 and above, and instruct the pilot to contact Houston Center on that radio frequency. Flight level 500, flight level 560, and the SR-71 has traveled 120 miles in 4 minutes for an average of 30 miles per minute. Next is an Air Force video of an SR-71 after aerial refueling performing the Dipsy Doodle maneuver. The aircraft will begin a shallow dive and then accelerate to above Mach 1 and then light the afterburners, or as they say, light the candles, and then start climbing up to cruise altitude and cruise speed. It's an amazing video. I want to thank you for watching today. Take care.